Now in this series, we follow Cindy Sage, who is an alchemist. Hi everyone, today I'll be reviewing The Golden Lily by Richelle Mead. The Golden Lily is the second book to the Bloodlines series, and the Bloodlines series is a spin-off series from the Vampire Academy series. Now in this series, we follow Cindy Sage, who is an alchemist who we meet in the fourth Vampire Academy book. Now the story starts off a couple months after Bloodlines left off, and Sydney is on her way to a secret location to give her opinion on Keith's situation. Now if you don't know, Keith is currently in a re-education center where he was sent to after Bloodlines ended. Now in the Golden Lily, Sydney finds herself getting closer to Jill, Eddie, and especially Adrian. And the closer she gets to them, the more she starts to question the alchemist's belief of all vampires being evil. Sonia, Karp, and Dimitri is also in this book, and they're there to do a research project on what's the difference on why a restored Sugoi can't be turned back into a Sugoi. Now Sydney also has a little bit of romance in this book with the boy named, what's his name? Byron, I think, who is exactly the boy version of Sydney. Sydney also learns that there is another human organization who call themselves Warriors of the Light, I think. Anyways, who call themselves Warriors of the Light. I really like how Sydney starts to question her beliefs and what she grew up knowing about vampires. I really like how she's struggling with what she's experiencing with vampires and what she grew up being told about them, and how she fears of not her fears of keeping it to herself and not letting anyone know, because she does not want to go to a re-education center after seeing Keith and how he was so different from how she knows him as. I also love how her teacher unintentionally teaches her spells, even though she's like totally against it. But she eventually learns the spells because she's like writing it down, and she can't help herself but learn those spells. Jenny grew up being homeschooled, so she really didn't have any friends. She doesn't know how to fit in, and especially she has never been on a date and stuff. So it's so funny to see her interacting with boys, and like how the boy asked her to move a movie, and she was like, oh, she doesn't want to go to a movie, or she's not interested, and the boy just leaves dumbfounded while her friends just laugh at her. Sydney's relationship with Byron, I feel like she just liked being around him because they are so much alike that they have a lot of stuff in common that they could talk about, and they're both really smart, so they're so much alike that they're so much alike that they immediately connect on a what's that word, on a intellect. They immediately connect on an intellectual level, but as far as romance go, I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it from them, and obviously Sydney does not feel any like physical attraction toward Byron. Even when they kiss, she states that it just felt there was no emotion there. She just felt it as, it just feels like, you know, lips touching. So she really didn't feel any emotion for him. On the other hand, Sydney and Adrian spend a lot of time together, and you can see that their relationship is growing the more they spend time together, and you can see that Sydney's grow more fond of Adrian as they hang out, especially when they take the self-defense classes, because after being attacked in Keith's house and being attacked in the alleyway, Sydney wanted to at least learn some moves to protect herself, and Adrian just happened to go along with her. And throughout the book, you realize that Sydney starts to become more comfortable around Adrian. And there was this scene in a self-defense class where Sydney without thinking takes her hand and attack Adrian. Adrian without thinking it, and then Adrian just freezes up, and she was like, "What are you?" She was like, "What are you trying to fight back?" Where Adrian just couldn't. So and And then later on she realized that, oh, she attacked him without thinking. She touched a vampire. And so I thought that was cute. That scene also reminded me of who? Dimitri and Rose when they were training, and Rose would like constantly try to catch Adrian, not Adrian, trying to catch Dimitri off guard, and how they would just train together and fight. And I don't know, that scene just reminds me of Rose and Dimitri, except maybe a little more clumsy because they don't know what they're doing. We also learned about Sydney's love for cars and how her mom used to be a mechanic, so she learned everything she knows about cars through her mom. And that came in handy because when Adrian got his Mustang, she was like all over his car. She was telling him like, don't do this, don't do that, you'll ruin the engine and stuff. And Adrian was like just nodding along. Which is a good thing for Adrian because he could use that. He uses that as an excuse to be around Sydney. Like before, Sydney was not a big fan of magic, and she is against using magic, but because she couldn't help but learn the magic, the spells and stuff, she was able to use the magic to get out of a sticky situation. Like after being rescued from the warriors of the light thingy, she was able to use magic to help her and Adrian escape them. So throughout the book, Sydney struggle with her feelings towards vampires, her beliefs, the alchemist way, her relationship, her feelings for especially Adrian, and her feelings towards magic. Even though she's struggling with those decisions, she's still trying to find out who she is outside of being an alchemist, and being her own self instead of being defined as an alchemist. Overall, I like the Vampire kind of series and the first Bloodlines book. I love this book, and I love that Sydney is trying to find who she is and questioning the way she grew up. Once I started the book, I couldn't put it down like before. I mean, even though it was like 2 in the morning, I couldn't put it down because I had to finish it. So yeah. Overall, I give it a 5 out of 5 because I loved it, and after finishing it, I couldn't wait to get started on the 3rd book. So that's all I can say. I loved it. Yeah, you should definitely read this series because it's a really good series and you should not miss out on it. That's it. Bye guys.